Coach, one of the neat things about my job is so many of the head coaches in this county have been around for a long, long time. I like to talk to them about, their experience with their programs, and I'm wondering what Conrad Weiser football means to you. 20 years as a head coach, 15 years as an assistant. You played here. How would you sum up your time here?
I bleed blue and white. It's in my blood. It's a family thing for me. My parents, my brother's involved. My kids played here. My daughter's a cheerleader here. Nobody misses a game, but it's in my blood. I love the school. I love everything that we've done here over the years, the successes we've had. So I'm proud to be the head football coach here.
When people talk about Conrad Weiser football, what would you like them to say about the program and the type of kids that you've had here?
I said we always want to talk about being a first-class organization. It's tough to run a first-class organization. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. It takes good kids. I think we've had tough, hard-nosed, bring your lunch pail to work type of kids over the years. Kids that will hit you on a Friday night, win, lose, or draw. I think most teams will admit that Conrad Weiser comes out to play ball on a Friday night.
What is it about the sport of football that you love so much?
It's just, I tell you, I brag about it and I say I'm very prejudiced, when I talk about it, but greatest sport ever invented. The field, things that teaches the kids on the field, off the field. And if programs do it right, that's just such an opportunity to get in the minds of young kids and teach them how to do things the right way on and off the field. One of our philosophies is, we want our kids to leave our program being good sons to their parents. We want them to be good boyfriends to their girlfriends. We want them to be great husbands someday and great fathers to their children someday, good workers and strong academically in the classroom.
You lost an all-state quarterback in Logan Klitsch. Tell me about the sophomore that you have now in Donovan Gingrich.
Donovan's got big shoes to fill, obviously. But he's a hard-working kid, student of the game. He's not shy of hitting, and he's going to be a good one.
Do you see any flashes of Logan? I know it's early, but...
Yeah, I said in the off season we had some meetings, and my old offensive coordinator made some comments, with some very strong comments, saying this kid's got some talent very similar to Logan, when he was in 10th grade. So that's a pretty big compliment. They're big shoes to fill.
You lost an all-state receiver to graduation in Anjay Feliciano. Your top two running backs graduated. Who are the skill position players that people should look out for?
Again, tough to replace those kids. Anjay, just one of those kids that you don't get every year, and we got some good skill kids that are backing them up. Good wide receivers. Trey Diana, good possession receiver, caught a lot of balls last year. Evan Riddle, Josh Miller, and Davis Kepley, Luis Huertas. We got some good skill kids that can catch the ball and get the axe after. So again, they got a lot of big shoes to fill.
And what about at the running back spot?
Yeah, running back's going to be by committee to start the season here. Savon Parham, I came on at the end of the season. We gave him some carries due to some of the other guys being banged up a little bit. He's a workhorse, so I expect him to get some carries. Another younger kid, Usman Kande, and a newcomer, Dylan Britting, might see some action in the backfield as well.
Brett Organtini was a tackling machine. He had over 150 for you last season. Whose names are we going to be calling a lot on defense this year?
Well, I'm hoping. He said we have a lot of improvement to do on defense. I'm hoping Nikis Cassiano and Jake Fox, can anchor that inside part of the line. Evan Miller, started as a freshman last year at defensive end. I expect a lot out of him, and of course the linebacking core. Savon's going to be probably on both sides of the ball there, but we have a little bit of kids that played a little bit of part-time positions on defense last year, didn't get a whole lot of playing time, but they're gonna have to step up real early.
Do you ever have to pick up the lunch tab for those defensive tackles?
I do on certain nights.
How much does that run you?
And it's pretty hefty. Yeah. The boys can eat, I can tell you that.
Moving into the Lancaster-Lebanon League, and Section 4 certainly is no joke. You talk about Wyomissing, Berks Catholic, Cocalico, Lampeter, Strasburg's ranked in the top 10 in the state. What are your thoughts about joining the LL?
Well, again, I think the overall idea behind it was great. I think there were some programs that were starting to really suffer and maybe drop football eventually. So I think the idea of forming a large league like this really saved some of those programs for us. I've told every media source in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, they asked me how I'm doing. I said, I sleep like a baby. I wake up every 2 hours and cry. It's done. It's a gauntlet.
You know, experience is one of those things, you either have it or you don't. You can't teach it. You only have 3 starters back on each side of the football. How important are these practices before you get into those battles on Friday night?
Very important, but we got to walk before we run. You know, and these kids got to mature. We told them that after day 3 or 4, you're going to have to mature very quickly. The season's not going to wait for you to grow up. So the more time we get out here in the practice field, not necessarily doing all the hitting, but the more time we can spend with these kids, teaching them the way that we want them to play is very important.
And last thing, what are your feelings about the co-op with Talbot Hawk? And I know you have a handful of their students on your team.
It's been on the discussion block for so many years, and you know, I said for so many years I was not for it because we knew the ramifications. It would bump us up another class, and so far it hasn't. It's probably going to in the future, but you know, I look myself in the mirror a lot, and you know, if I have a chance, I brag so much about this great sport and giving kids the opportunity to play, and here I am, the guy that's holding it up, you know, not allowing some kids to play from another district that don't have a home football team. So made the decision this year. We're going to welcome them in with open arms. So we got 6 on our roster in the senior high right now, and they're good kids. They work hard, and we're happy to have them here as our football family.
Well, thanks for your time and best of luck this season.
Absolutely, Paul.